I dare you to comment hashtag MrBeast for WWE down in the comment section below. Welcome back to the channel, guys, and today I put MrBeast in WWE 2K20 Universe mode for 1 year. That's right, MrBeast is joining the SmackDown brand. He will be going after the WWE Championship because, let's be honest here, if MrBeast was any WWE wrestler, he would be the $1 Million Man, and he would get a championship opportunity nearly right away. But before we jump into the very first week of action, if you are new to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button today because one, it is absolutely free, two, you can subscribe at any point in the future. And can we hit 1,000 likes for MrBeast's WWE career? I think we can. Now on this sim, I'm gonna do things a little bit differently. Instead of going through each and every single week, if somebody was not booked, aka MrBeast, we're just gonna skip over that week in general, and I'll come back to you guys when we're on the next week that he was booked. Sadly, he was not booked here on the first week of May. It's May week 2 and MrBeast was booked. On this card, let's go all the way to the main event where MrBeast debuts and defeats Kevin Owens with a little bit of help from Randy Orton, so it seems. And remember, from all of my statisticians out there, at the very end of this video, comment down below, what was MrBeast's overall record in the WWE? At the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, I scrolled through and saw that MrBeast was booked, so let's find out exactly who he was facing. And the winner of the Money in the Bank briefcase is Bray Wyatt. I'm very shocked that it was not Brock Lesnar, but MrBeast defeats Dolph Ziggler in a steel cage match. I am so sorry, MrBeast, that your call looks like that. That's the only call that was on Community Creations. It is June week 1 now, and as we go through the card, who is MrBeast facing? But none other than John Cena, and his name was, as MrBeast defeats John Cena here tonight in singles competition. MrBeast is undefeated right now. Can we talk about that? It is now June week 3, and we're gonna go through the schedule and see if MrBeast was booked. He was, defeating Elias in singles competition. It does say rivalry match, by the way, so I'm very interested if MrBeast is now in a rivalry with somebody. It is now July week 2. This is the go-home show to the Extreme Rules pay-per-view, and as we go through, MrBeast has been booked, and he loses his very first match in the WWE to Kofi Kingston, who I believe is still the current reigning and defending WWE Champion. MrBeast was not booked at the Extreme Rules pay-per-view, but it's July week 3 here on SmackDown, and now MrBeast has defeated Kofi Kingston. They are now 1-1 against each other, and MrBeast's record, he's only lost one time, and it was to actually Kofi Kingston. Moving right along now to July week 4, let's find out what is on the agenda for MrBeast. It is a loss to Elias. Oof. That's a big oof, if you ask me. That is not good. I hope MrBeast can get back on that winning way, if you will. Welcome to August week 1 of SmackDown. Let's go through real quick and see. Yes, MrBeast was booked, and he defeated the Tribal Chief, the head of the table, the big dog, Roman Reigns. Let's go. That's a big win for MrBeast. It is once again another week for MrBeast to try to win a match. August week 2, here we go. Let's see what's on the agenda, and it is MrBeast losing to the freak accident, Lars Sullivan. He goes from beating Roman Reigns to losing to Lars Sullivan. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to SummerSlam. Let's see what's on the agenda for MrBeast here tonight at the pay-per-view. And we're going to go through real quickly and see what is on the agenda. Baby, MrBeast is your new WWE Champion as he defeats Kofi Kingston for that championship. Can we get a round of applause, please, for MrBeast's first ever WWE Championship win? He beat Kofi Kingston on SmackDown, and he runs it back and beats him again on SummerSlam to become the new WWE Champion. It's August week 4, and I'm very interested to see. Yep, MrBeast did get booked again. Your WWE Champion defeats Dolph Ziggler in singles competition. September week 1 is in the house. Let's find out what's gonna happen. Yep, MrBeast defeats Dolph Ziggler yet again. Dolph Ziggler just can't catch a break against MrBeast. Heading now into September week 2, let's see if the champion was booked. He was, but he lost to Kevin Owens. Oh my goodness, I didn't expect that, to be completely honest with you. I thought MrBeast was going to defeat Kevin. September week 3 is now arrived. Let's see what's on the agenda tonight. MrBeast defeats John Cena yet again, because he did defeat John Cena last time if my memory serves me correctly, but I'm just putting it out there. MrBeast did not get booked on the pay-per-view. I don't know what the WWE is doing right now, but hey, get that man a title defense real quick. September week 4 is now here. We're gonna go through real quick and see what is up with MrBeast. MrBeast and Randy Orton defeat Daniel Bryan and Rowan in tag team action. Does that mean that MrBeast is facing Randy Orton for the WWE Championship at Super Showdown? I have no idea, but let's find out. October week 1 is now here on the calendar, and MrBeast calls out Dolph Ziggler and wins a call-out promo against Dolph Ziggler. So are we gonna get MrBeast versus Dolph Ziggler at Super Showdown? All right, as we make it to Super Showdown, we get nothing because MrBeast is not booked on the card. We've arrived now to October week 3. MrBeast is booked as he defeats Elias in singles competition. It seems that they really love this MrBeast versus Elias matchup in the universe mode. With October week 4 being here now, let's find out what's up with MrBeast. It is MrBeast defeating Kevin Owens in singles competition. At least MrBeast got his win back over Kevin Owens, if you ask me. That's a good sign. You know, as we make it to November week 1, MrBeast is yet to defend that WWE Championship, but hey, he's on every single card. As you see right here, he defeats Kevin Owens. He's on every single SmackDown. He just doesn't get booked on pay-per-views. It's kind of very funny to me, but I mean, hey, if I had MrBeast's schedule, I don't think I would show up to pay-per-views either. I will say I'm very interested in what's going to happen the first time MrBeast has to defend his championship, but tonight, MrBeast wins a triple threat match with Randy Orton and Roman Reigns, the big dog. November week 3 means that this is the go-home show to the Survivor Series pay-per-view, and MrBeast defeats Randy Orton in singles competition. Will MrBeast defend his title at Survivor Series? Let's find out. Welcome to the Survivor Series pay-per-view. Tucker and Otis are your new tag team champions as we go through. Oh, come on. Natalya won the women's championship. Moving forward, Apollo won the IC title. That's actually pretty dope. Moving forward, though, MrBeast led a Survivor Series team for, I believe, Team SmackDown, as it was MrBeast, Jinder Mahal, Lars Sullivan, and Andrade defeating Seth Rollins, Brock Lesnar, Ricochet, and The Miz. Moving into November week 4 now, let's find out if MrBeast is booked again. He is defeating Elias for what I feel is the 1,000th time in his career. We're moseying on over now to December week 1, and let's see what's on the agenda. MrBeast defeats John Cena yet again. December week 2 is the go-home show for the Tables, Ladders, and Chairs pay-per-view. This is a big deal to me because I always love the TLC pay-per-view. MrBeast defeats Elias once again, though, on the go-home show to the TLC pay-per-view. But real quick, will MrBeast defend his championship at Tables, Ladders, and Chairs? Oh my, I hope so, because he's yet to defend it since winning it back in August. We're in December. All right, here we go. Tables, Ladders, and Chairs. Let's find out if MrBeast has a title match, and he does, and he retains the WWE Championship as he defeats the big dog, Roman Reigns. So you can't say that he hasn't defended the title anymore because he clearly just did. We open up the next episode of SmackDown with MrBeast and Apollo Crews defeating Xavier Woods and Big E. Moving into December week 4 now, we have MrBeast and Elias defeating Tucker and Otis. So it seems that MrBeast is going on a tag team run real quick. It's January week 1, and we're about to find out what is going to happen. MrBeast called out Randy Orton, but Randy Orton wins the show closer promo against MrBeast. Opening up the next week of SmackDown, we have MrBeast and John Cena, the ultimate dream team, if you will, defeating Tucker and Otis, the current tag team champions. We are so close to the Royal Rumble pay-per-view, but will MrBeast defend his title on that pay-per-view? I don't know, but tonight, he just lost to Andrade. Oh my goodness. MrBeast loses to Andrade. That's a big win for El Idolo. This is now the go-home show to the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. Will MrBeast be booked on this show? He will, defeating Kevin Owens in singles competition. MrBeast was not booked at the Royal Rumble. However, I did want to go to the Royal Rumble even though he's not booked. Okay, Daniel Bryan won the Royal Rumble match. So that means if MrBeast holds on to that championship at WrestleMania at the moment, we're going to see MrBeast versus Daniel Bryan. The first week of February is here. Who did MrBeast do something with? He lost a show closer promo against Kevin Owens. That's a big win for KO, heading on in closely to the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. This is the go-home show to the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, February week 2, and let's see what's on the agenda today. MrBeast defeats Kevin Owens in singles competition. MrBeast was not booked on the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, so we're now at February week 3 of SmackDown. Let's see what happens. Oh my goodness, they booked a WWE Championship match on SmackDown, and MrBeast retains his title, defeating Kevin Owens in singles competition. This is the last week of February week 4. Let's see what's happening with MrBeast tonight. He does defeat Dolph Ziggler in singles competition. March week 1 is always a really interesting time in these universe mode sims, because this is kind of when you start figuring out what's going to happen at Mania, and MrBeast defeats Kevin Owens as we're on the road to Fastlane. That's the next pay-per-view. Will MrBeast defend his title at that pay-per-view? I don't know. I mean, he's only defended his title one time on pay-per-view, and that was in December after winning it back in August. March week 2 is now the go-home show to the Fastlane pay-per-view. Let's see what's about to happen. It is MrBeast defeating Dolph Ziggler in singles competition. Now, we know who MrBeast is going to face at WrestleMania if he wins and retains at Fastlane. It's going to go against Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania. That's a big deal. That's a big challenge for MrBeast. Quite possibly his biggest challenge in the ring yet. But let's find out what happens at Fastlane. As we arrive to the Fastlane pay-per-view, this is how we know if MrBeast is going to punch his ticket to WrestleMania. He does, as he defeats Kevin Owens in singles competition. So now we know for certain it's going to be MrBeast going one-on-one with Daniel Bryan. The true road to WrestleMania is heating up as we are about to be at the biggest pay-per-view of the year. Daniel Bryan wins a show closer promo against MrBeast. March week 4 is the last week of March, obviously, so let's find out if it's going to be a good one for MrBeast. It is, as Daniel Bryan and MrBeast team up and defeat Kofi Kingston and Big E in a tag team match. We are now in April week 1, so close to WrestleMania. Let's find out, though, what's happening with MrBeast, and he defeats John Cena as we enter the last month of his first year in the WWE. It's April week 2, the go-home show to the biggest show of the year, WrestleMania. Let's see exactly what's going to happen with MrBeast, as he does not have anything happen with Dolph Ziggler. We go to the news, though, and Daniel Bryan came down the ringside while brooding as he watched his rivals match. He made his move after the match ended, attacking MrBeast to start a brawl between the two superstars. Their hostility may be past the point of no return, both of them wanting to beat each other in fights instead of matches. And it is now time for the biggest show of the year, WrestleMania. MrBeast is up against Daniel Bryan for that championship. Will he retain? Let's find out. Yes, he does. He retains the WWE Championship against Daniel Bryan. He will be ending this sim as your reigning and defending WWE Champion. To follow up with the last 2 weeks of this sim now, let's quickly just go through April week 3 and see if MrBeast is booked. He is, and he loses to Roman Reigns. Now it is time for the very last week in this year-long sim. Let's see exactly who MrBeast goes out with facing. He defeats Roman Reigns in singles competition. Now, all my statisticians out there, comment down below right now, what was MrBeast's overall record? And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. MrBeast has been in the WWE for 1 year. He has held the WWE Championship for 232 days. He won it at SummerSlam, and he has not lost it yet. I am really curious. I usually don't do this. I usually never do this, actually, but I want to see if he can hold the title for a year. So we're going to simulate all the way to August. We're going to simulate all the way to SummerSlam, see if he is still the WWE Champion, and see if he can retain it. So as we arrive to SummerSlam, MrBeast is still the WWE Champion. Will he retain? Let's go ahead and simulate and find out right here, right now. He does not. Randy Orton has defeated MrBeast for the WWE Championship. Was that at the year mark? All right, so it was actually not at the year mark. Apparently, Randy Orton won the title a couple of months ago, because it says here that Jimmy has held the title now for 336 days. He did not make it a whole 365. That would have been insane. That has yet to have been done in the sim. But thank you guys so much for tuning into this one. And as always and forever, take it easy, though, guys. Peace.